FCPG Testimonies. What's your story that can give God glory? Is it healing? Is it provision? Is it protection? Is it the saving of a loved one that was lost? Is it the destruction of a stronghold? A breakthrough from oppression or depression? No matter what it is, I want you to share it with us.
Turn up your volume, all the time to get it. You're now turned into the sounds, I'm fully committed. His grace and mercy, you heard me, so please lend me your ears. Grab up here, got an awesome story for y'all to hear. Shed a tear, these miracles are so touching. You might start jumping or break out running. The one who's coming said he never leave you lonely. And this here is FCPG Testimonies. Fully committed production group, 100% or repent. I am Grayce and Mercy, your host with the Holy Ghost, and you are welcome to another episode of FCPG Testimonies. Y'all clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Hey, you know how I say, shout out to the live audience gang in the building with us on today. Today is an awesome, super day. I got my homeboy, my brother from another mother in the building with me. Y'all see, a lot of people don't know that at one point in time I was just another rapper in the city of Savannah. I'm not from here, but I was just another rapper in the city of Savannah.
That's fact.
And then when I started, he said that's fact. When I started actually taking my music career serious, I had to team up with some of the illest people in the music industry, business, whatever creative field in the city, and one of the names that reigned very high in the city was Mr. Tyron Twiz Williams. Yeah, clap it up. Yeah, clap it up. Clap it up. The certified banger man.
Banger man.
What's happening, my guy?
Man, I can't call it, man. It's a blessing to be here, man. I see you doing your thing, so I'm honored to be here on this platform and just contribute to the vision and the things you got going on.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm
finally able to get you in the studio. It's usually the other way around.
Right.
Yeah, so if y'all don't know, every time you hear Grayce and Mercy track and you like, man, this mix sounds amazing, the master sounds amazing, I can hear all his vocals. That's the certified banger man himself. This man been there since day one.
Day one.
I remember the first time I heard a song that you had mixed and mastered for me. It was Walk by Faith.
Man, listen.
And bro, the first time I heard that joint, it literally brought me to tears just to hear how great it sounded.
Right.
So I was just like, bro. Like,
that song was very powerful.
It was.
That song was very powerful.
It was.
I enjoyed mixing that.
Yeah. And you it's every song after that. Every song. I mean, every song, every Grayce and Mercy song.
Even jingles.
Right.
We do it all.
We doing it all, man. Yeah, it is. Yeah, somebody missed out on a great opportunity, but we ain't gonna talk about that. You know what it is. I ain't gonna say it because they might see this.
They know though.
Yeah, they know. They know about me. Well, yo, Twiz, I just want to once again appreciate you for coming again, bro, getting on the podcast. So, like, I'm going to do you like I do everybody else.
Let's go.
I ask everybody else, like, what was life like growing up before you came to Christ? Like, before you knew who God was? Like, what was life like?
Well, shouts out to my grandma. She the one who kept me in church when I was young.
The praying grandmother?
Yeah, the praying grandmother. It's a strong thing, man. She had us at church and everything. Revival, Sunday school, all of that. And it kind of made me step away from the church for a while. I ain't gonna hold you. When I became a teenager, I'm like, look, I'm done. Not saying I was done with church. I was just tired of going to church.
Yeah.
Like I just needed a break. So I took a little break off. And it's funny how God brings you back into the fold.
Come on.
Because it was like my 10th grade, they had a church up the street from my house, Savannah Baptist Temple. Mm-hmm. And what they did is they brought us to what's called Awanas. And Awanas was just a Wednesday evening thing that they did at the church to bring the kids in the neighborhood. They didn't start off with the gospel and preaching. They had games, they had food, they had all that stuff. So, as kids, we come in there like, it's lit. They got games, food, it's lit after school. And then what they did is they have like maybe 30 minutes where they just like talked about the Bible, talked about stories about the Bible. And it got me back in the church. Yeah. And the cool thing about their church is when they finally invited me to come on a Sunday, is their church is only an hour.
Hey, fair game.
we know our culture. We'll be in church for a minute.
Yes.
And I don't like sitting too many places. Even in church, I don't like being too many places for a long period of time. I'm there to worship. I'm there to get the word, but it don't have to be 3 hours. It don't.
It don't take the Lord that long.
No, it don't, bro. It don't. And that's the biggest thing I would say I didn't like about churches was that if they take long, I can't really do that. Yeah. Like the hour was cool. I was home before kickoff. Yeah. I was able to eat lunch. I was able to do things, prep for tomorrow, have my clothes laid out. Everything. Yeah. So
was it any part of the teaching that kind of stuck with you when you was doing it, or was it just like, hey, listen, I just go for the food and the games, or but like when they did the teaching segment, was it something that was like, okay, like God seemed kind of cool?
Yeah, like the way they broke it down was really good. Like they used to do simple things, like so they had a game where you had to like find where Bible verses were or know the names of the books of the Bible, which was really cool. And they would have like a competition, like, all right, who's this, like find Genesis, and you have to go in the Bible, try to find Genesis. They made it competitive. Yeah. So you weren't thinking like, oh, this is actually me learning the books of the Bible. Correct. You're just focused on, I am about to beat this other person. I'm trying to win this thing. Yeah. And next thing you know, by that time we were done with the program, you're like, where's Genesis? Oh, it's in the front of the Bible. This is in the middle of the Bible, That's it. So it was a subtle way to bring the Bible in there. It wasn't the main focus. So I appreciated that, and that's what stuck with me.
Yeah. So if you're not a Bible scholar, the Genesis is the first book of the Bible. So if you're looking for it, you shouldn't have to look too long.
Not too long.
This will be about
in the beginning. Right. That's all you need to know. In the beginning.
In the beginning.
And Exodus sounds like it's at the end. Yeah, it just sounds like there's just something about to happen.
It's exit,
Exodus. It's done, bro.
Yeah, man. So and as far as like the teaching, like when did you like what was it that kind of like pricked your heart that was like, I really want to, like, to the point where you said I want to serve God?
Well, respectfully, that didn't happen until I became a young adult.
Gotcha.
Right? So you could say that the early years, the seeds were being planted.
Gotcha.
It wasn't until I journeyed on myself. This was during a period of time where I was in Orlando, Florida, and I just separated from my son's mom. And, I was really kind of trying to figure life out. Like I literally lost my place I was at. I separated from my kid's mom. I just got a new job. I was working on a job, and life seemed to be pretty good because when I went down there, I was in Orlando. I was going to studios. We were studios laid. We was going to the clubs. We was drinking. We was smoking. It was a lot of that stuff. And I didn't go to church during that time.
Right.
So it seemed pretty good. But then when all this stuff started to happen, and I didn't even know when I was going to see my son again. I didn't know where the job was at, when I was going to get another place. I had this hoopty car. It could have blew up or whatever at any moment. Like, it was a really struggle during that time. And I ended up staying with one of my friends. Shouts out to Wade and Mona.
Yo, shout out Wade. That's my guy there.
Yeah, they let me crash at their spot for a while. To get myself back on the feet after the separation and stuff. Yeah. And it wasn't until one of my friends, Keisha, shouts out to her, she's like, yo, they have this college church that you can go to and listen to the word. And it's not like regular church. It's more for the youth, for young adults. And I was like, all right, I'll go. It's been a minute since I've been in church. And I went there, and I went there a couple times. And then I just felt the word started like coming back. Yeah. It was like coming back, right? And once I went to church those few times, I never not went without going to church again. Because I was like, listen, when I didn't go to church, that probably was the worst my life has been. Yeah. Like, I could really feel a lot of the struggles of life. It was hard to overcome it. But when you go to church, right, and you get that word and you keep that faith, it keeps it strong, keeps that foundation strong. So I was like, you know what? I told God, I was like, look, I'm never gonna not go to church anymore. Like I'm gonna try to do some type of way to incorporate God. And that's when I would say, that's when I started to serve. That's when the music started to change for me. What I listened to, what I created, what I rapped about, what I even wanted to mix. Like the last couple of years, I cut my clients almost in half or a little bit more than half.
Really?
Because I made that conscious choice. Like, yo, I don't want to mix anything that's going to taint me.
Yeah.
And, it's been a struggle. You know what I'm saying? It's been a struggle because you could just mix anybody's project and if it's all about the money.
Right.
But I'm like, this is worth more, right? This is worth more to leave a legacy behind for my kids and to focus on making music that doesn't make it sound like you got to sell your soul. So, that's kind of what I've been on.
Yeah. So let me back you up real quick.
All right, go ahead.
When did you realize you had a gift of rapping and music and making beats? Like, when did you start that? Because you said once you got in Orlando, you was already.
I was
in
already.
it. Yeah. So like, when did you realize you had a talent for music?
Well, I've always loved music from when I was like little. Like I remember songs that came out. My mom played the radio. My grandma was in the church. So I always like loved music. But I didn't really start doing it myself till like high school.
Gotcha.
So probably about my 9th grade, by 8th grade, 9th grade, we was rapping, freestyling. My first purchase was a karaoke machine. I'm dating my age. A karaoke machine is a black karaoke machine with 2 tape decks.
Two tape
Tapes. It was before the CD one.
Yeah, not cassette tape. Tape deck.
Cassette tapes. And what I used to do is I used to record instrumentals. Like back then I had the stereo with the 3 discs that rotates. So with CDs back then they had the clean version, the dirty version, and the instrumental.
Correct.
That's right.
On a single CD.
On a single CD, right.
Yes.
So what I would do is I would get blank tapes. If I couldn't afford to buy blank tapes, and my grandma, she kind of almost killed me on this. What you didn't know you could do with tapes, if you take, at the top of the tapes, there's 2 little squares, right? And you take tissue balls, and you put the tissue balls in there. You can record over the tape.
You use tissue balls. I just put tape on.
Hey, we found a way. Yeah, he found a way. I just put the tissue balls in there, and I put it, and you can record over whatever tape.
Yes.
So I did that. I'll play the instrumental on the CD, and then I recorded the instrumental on the tape.
Yeah.
And then I would take that tape, put it in the right side of the tape deck, take the empty one, the blank tape, put that over there, and we would rap over it.
Yeah.
We would rap over the instrumental, and we'll have our own song. So that's what we did.
Yeah. So what cassette tape of your grandmother did you mess up?
Shirley Caesar, bro. Hey, Shirley Caesar, bro.
Shirley Caesar.
She went to play that song on there, thinking she about to hear a Shirley Caesar song.
And you still here today?
Hey, grace of God. The grace of God.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes. Hey, y'all niggas know it.
Hey, yeah. It was definitely not clean. It was not clean. It was a lot. It was a lot on there, bro. And I don't even think my grandma remember. I think that's how mad she was. She's like, I would just erase this.
Yeah, she don't just block it out of her mind.
But the good thing about it is my grandma, she didn't go overboard with it. She was like, you know what you need to do this music stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And she bought me my first PC. She bought me a microphone. And this is back when Media Play was over there on Largo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. And then I bought my first DAW, which was Cakewalk. And I ended up just recording in there. And she was like, we had an extra room. So she was like, you could record in there. And I used to have like people from the block. Everybody used to pull up to the crib and we used to record in that room. And that's really how I got to engineering.
Yeah.
I started making my own beats. I bought a beat machine. There was a senior in my 9th grade math class. And he was like, yo, I got this beat machine. I'll sell it to you.
Hold up.
Yeah, he was a senior.
I was about to say a
He's a senior
in your 9th grade math class.
Hey,
All
listen,
right.
I don't know what he did with his credits, but he changed my life being in there. So maybe that was his purpose.
Hey, appreciate you being slow, my boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Lord forgive me. I'm sorry, Lord. I'm sorry.
You talking about people, children, man. Don't do that. But nah, he was in there. He sold me the beat machine for $25. He was like, yo, I'll sell it for 25. I was like, bet, I'll have this to you next week. And next thing you know, I had the beat machine.
Yeah.
Was making the beats.
Yeah.
And then actually my homeboy Rob, His mom, he had a keyboard, and they gave me the keyboard, and I hooked the keyboard onto the beat machine. So I was playing the keyboard and then making the beats at the same time. So we was recording that on the tape.
Yeah.
And that's how I was making my instrumentals.
So you self-taught with everything. You didn't really like go to school to learn how to play the keys or make beats. Anything?
I took piano lessons for a little bit. I wish I would have stayed with it when I was younger, but this was during the time where everybody was on the block. Everybody was outside. I had to stay in from as soon as we got from school to 6 o'clock. I was in there playing the piano. And she used to have the window open, and you would just hear the kids outside. You would see everybody playing. They would come knock on the door. Hey, Ty coming outside? Da, da, da. No, he's got piano practice. And eventually that got annoying. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't get to play outside. I got to stay in here locked in. So I chose to go outside. And, my grandma didn't fight me on it or anything. She was like, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. Go outside. And who knew that it would circle back and, so I had to teach myself a little bit more, self-taught a little bit more to do it. But I can only imagine how better I would have been if I would have just been if I would have stuck with it. So, yeah, for sure.
So what's your original hood studio setup? Because I mean when I first started rapping, and back in the day we had some super ghetto setups.
Those studios was lit.
Well, we used to
shout out to Rob Black.
Yeah, we used to crank out some good music.
Yeah,
though.
man.
I'm talking about milk, egg cartons on the wall and all.
I didn't have all that. I didn't have all that.
So what's your hood set studio?
The first setup I had was what I was talking about with my grandma. I had a PC. I had the microphone. I didn't know what it was, a condenser mic or dynamic mic. I didn't know anything. We just grabbed the mic. It was a dynamic mic. Right. And we plugged it into the headphone jack inside the back of the PC, and we rapped. And then one of my homeboys, I was so mad at him after he finished rapping. This was back when they dropped the mic thing during the 8th Mile happened, and he drops the mic, and the mic is cracked. So now we're rapping on it with tape all around the side of the microphone, and we still rapping. It still worked. Still rapping. Still was doing what we doing. That was my hood setup right there.
Hood setup, yeah.
Yeah. That was a great. Oh yeah, she got down. I think the most hoodest studio I've been in is when I was in Orlando, and I pulled up to one of my friends' studio, and he had the mattress as the booth. He had the mattresses around. Yeah. He did have the A crate, and then we was in Florida, so it was hot in there. So you had to turn off the fan, turn off the AC, right?
Yeah.
To record, or if you're gonna pick it up, and so that was hot. It was hot in there. Even this the point where even the girls didn't care. They had to take off their shirts because everybody was like, "Look,
everybody in that joint sweating."
Everybody in their tank tops and bras.
Yeah.
We
feel like they cooking dope in there.
That's what it was like.
We got the live audience checking in.
What's up, live audience?
I had a question.
Sure, what's up?
So before we get too far along,
okay.
You said what drew you when you went to the events and they didn't Bible bash you. They made it interesting.
Right.
Now that you are an teacher,
right,
how do you influence your students? Do you give them that same, whenever they come to you for advice? How do you interject positivity into their life and pretty much redirect them from just being that person that they look up to,
right?
In the age, what age is it?
I'm high school.
Oh, right. So that's very, very vital. So how the way you got it, is that what you kind of implement in with your students now? Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. So for instance, if a student is late, and I know some students come late, they just do. Even with their attendance being spotty, I don't be like, well, why you late? Why you coming in here late? What's going on? I be like, hey, good morning. What's up? How you doing? How you been? How was your travels? All right. Hey, just sit down for a minute. I'm gonna spin back. I'm gonna holler at you. I don't really focus on that. I just, appreciate their presence. And I showed them that. I showed them that I'm here for them. Yeah. I showed them that I care about them. Sometimes I share things about what I'm going on. They know about my life and stuff too. To show them that I'm not just a teacher. I'm a person. Right? I'm a person that they can talk to, a person that they can vent to. You can ask my wife. That when I'm on the phone with her, sometimes during my break periods, there's students trying to come in. There's students trying to come in and check in on me and say what's up. I was gone for 3 days and I came back. They act like I was gone for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is.
So that's what I do with them, and then I try to make real world examples because a lot of times when you teach, right? When you teach, it's all book stuff, right? But when you actually teach in a way to where like, hey, this is how you can utilize this skill.
Correct.
When you get out of high school. They they kind of gravitate to that kind of style more than just all the other things.
Yeah, so we jumped way ahead.
It's all good. We
because,
here.
yeah, we was gonna get to it. So for those who don't know, my amazing brother from another mother, Tyron Twiz Williams, he
Yep.
is a teacher
Yep.
of I don't know the exact title, but he's a music teacher,
Music and media
in
teacher.
New York.
Yeah.
And he's been doing amazing things, and that's kind of what I wanted to focus on for a little bit, like,
Okay.
because I know the story of how you got there, like how God really orchestrated that thing, something crazy. So we was gonna get to it. It's all good. I love you. I'm not saying I love the question,
Nah.
but we was gonna get to it. But like, so yeah, you're originally from Savannah.
Originally,
You
yep.
got very acclimated in doing music down here in Savannah. You are one of the more well known people as far as music wise in Savannah.
Right.
But then you felt the Lord calling you out of Savannah to New York.
Actually, we did not know that he was going to call us to New York.
I got you.
That came crazy. Now, this was after sometime, like I used to work at UPS. I was one of the managers at UPS. And
You
that
used to work
job,
at UPS?
yeah, UPS Freight.
Okay.
The one right there on the west side.
Yeah.
UPS Freight. I was the morning shift leader.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool job. You know, benefits was good, pay was pretty good. But I was doing like media. So my media company, Dolph Media, my wife and I, we were running that, and we were doing weddings and events. And for a solid time, it was really bringing in a lot of revenue. So much we was just like, you know what? I'm ready to take the leap of faith. Like I'm gonna step away from this job. I'm gonna focus 100% on this.
Yeah. That's
and
why I remember you having no job, because you was always
Yeah,
full-time.
I was
Yeah.
always like into that, and it was pretty good. You know, the thing is though, we were like, you know, very not like we were business minded, but we weren't like all the way seasoned business minded. And what I mean by that is, you know, putting money aside for certain things. We were like, oh yeah, we'll buy food, we'll buy y'all, we good. It was a lot of that. And then what really was the part that hurt is, you know, we did weddings, so we didn't realize there was a season.
Yeah.
Right, we weren't even thinking about it.
Right.
So when it got cold, right, there's no more weddings.
No more wedding. They might get married in the winter.
Right. And so at the time, I had to get like a little part-time job at Toys R Us right before they closed.
Wow.
Yeah. And that wasn't, to me, at first I was embarrassed.
Really?
To work. Yeah. Because you got to think about it. We was running our business full time. We were doing everything. And then, you know, in order for us to sustain our bills and float, I had to work at Toys R Us.
Yeah, you went
And
from Dolph to Jeffrey.
Yeah, to Jeffrey. It was even to the point where I would see some people that I knew, and I would hide in the aisles and all that stuff. I didn't want nobody to see me, because, you know, everybody saw me. Yeah, you was doing your business, you doing your thing. So I was pretty embarrassed about it. And then once that season got done, I ended up working at Maple Street, which is off of Brighton. I think it's Brighton Street. Yeah, Brighton Street. And I was working there, and it really wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of money. It was just till the next season. And so we were just looking for different opportunities. I was like, man, I got to get back to the music, because that's what I love to do. I really wanted to do that. I wanted to free up my time and do just what I love. I didn't want to do these different jobs. So I was applying for this job, that job. I stood in a line at the porch trying to get my Twig card. I did Life Touch, which is a photography company.
Yeah.
We were doing that. It was just a bunch of odd jobs. Like at that point, we were just doing a bunch of odd jobs to try to stay afloat. And you know, I just was applying for things on Indeed. And then I saw this one job. It was in New York, and it was like, it was paying like $50,000. And I was like, all right, cool. $50,000 is cool, but I don't know about New York. I just shot a shot. Next thing you know, they hit me back. It was like, yo, you this is your resume. You doing music. This is good. This is good, right? It's a nonprofit organization. They were just trying to get themselves together. They was like, it's going to be a few months before we actually get things rolling. But if you stick with us, we'll make sure you're good. We'll make sure that you got a place to stay. We'll take care of you, basically, stuff like that. So we were doing a couple of meetings. The meetings were kind of good, but then we started to see the CEO start talking kind of weird, like to other people. Like they were just being rude, disrespectful, all because people were asking questions. And I was like, all right, well, you know, I ain't gonna worry about it too much because they didn't ever direct it to me. Every time I talked, it was pretty okay. So then they were like, all right, well, we need to move to New York. And my wife and I, we took off 3 days, right? We took off 3 days to move to New York. And so we moved up. I stayed with my aunt. She stayed, shouts out to my aunt. And she let us stay for a few days. And we actually met the director. The director was just saying, like, things are kind of moving a little slow, but don't worry, we're almost done. They're almost finalizing on the grant because they went on the grants to pay everybody and stuff like that. Meanwhile, people were like quitting just because they were like, oh, this is taking too long, or because the person was talking to them. But I just try to keep faith. I try to keep faith and do that. So in the meantime, we were looking for a place because everybody was like, yo, you trying to find a place in 3 days in New York? Man, you crazy. And so we called every borough. We drove every borough. We traveled every borough.
Yeah.
Nobody hit us back. People saying you got to make 4 times the amount of how much you were going to make, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't any luck. 1 day go by, 2 days go by, 3rd day go by. Nothing. Right? So literally, Bo Shaneri and I, we were on the highway to go back to Georgia. I was like, I guess it just wasn't meant for us to really find a place. Next thing you know, we get a guy that calls us, and he said, hey, are you still looking for a place? It's like, all right, okay, yeah, we're still looking for a place. We go, and we check the place out. It was a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and we were just like, okay, well, you know, coming from the South, we're used to more amenities, we're used to more space.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then the bathroom was pink. I'm like, this bathroom is pink. I don't want this place. And so we was like, we took the application anyway, and then I was like, I don't know. She was, you know, and Shaneri asked me how I was feeling. I was like, I don't know. And so we was just getting ready to leave, and she said, pull over. And I was like, all right. She's like, look, we asked God to find us a place.
Come on.
While we up here, right? In 3 days. This is the only place that called us.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you're right, but the bathroom is pink, though.
Not only is the bathroom pink, how big is your family?
Yeah, exactly. And this is before.
5 of y'all?
This is before. This is before. It's before Josiah.
Oh, yeah.
So we like, I don't know. But anyway, so we ended up calling them back, telling them we wanted the place. And then, you know, we set up everything, paid a deposit. I paid for some of my friends to help come move. We paid for the moving truck, all that stuff. Then fast forward, it was about 2 weeks before. 2 weeks before we were supposed to move.
I just want you to include how long this man held the
Microphone.
property for. Include how long he held the property for us before
Yeah.
we moved in.
He held it for about 2 months,
Wow.
right?
With no pay.
No pay.
With no pay?
No pay. He held it for 2 months. Held it for 2 months. We didn't have the money right then and there. We
Yeah.
had to save up because remember, we're working a lot of jobs trying to make it happen.
Right.
So he held it for us for 2 months, and we was able to put it down deposit and pay all the stuff. So he looked out on that. About 2 weeks before we were supposed to actually move, the person from the company started talking to me sideways.
Oh, boy.
It came around, right? And so I was like, I was telling Shay, I was like, I don't like how this person talking. Like, if this is how she treat her people, I can't work for somebody like that. And so she was like, well, what you gonna do? And I prayed about it, and God was like, leave a voicemail and tell the person you're gonna quit. If they really want you and they care about you, she'll call you back, and you'll be able to move from there. I called and left a voicemail.
Whoa, hold on.
Right.
How'd you deal with that in your spirit? Because you're like, Lord, I want this job, and you telling me to tell him to quit?
Yeah. That's what he told me. And I didn't even second guess it because I was so angry about how I was treated.
Gotcha.
So at that point, I just was like, all right, God, if that's what you want me to do, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? And I was just like, and I called him, left a message. I said, hey, thank you for the opportunity, but I'm going to have to decline. This is just not what I envisioned, blah, 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 blah. 2 days go by, no phone. 3 days go by, no phone. Week go by, no phone. Got my answer. All right? Now, the hard part is we done paid for all this stuff, right?
Right.
And Shaneri looked at me and she was like, yo, what you want to do? Like, you know, we can just try to find some place here. We can stay with our grandma-in-law because we were staying with her this whole process time. And I was just like, you know what? We done paid all this stuff. Let's just go ahead and do it, right? So the day comes, we leave. We get ready to leave. I'm driving in the truck. Next thing you know, the truck breaks down. On the highway. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. The truck wasn't going past 50 miles per hour. Next thing you know, it get done.
Back up.
Back up. What happened?
You forgot the car accident.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's a lot, bro.
Appreciate you, wife manager.
Yeah, it's a
all
lot,
good.
right? So we came back from New York. I forgot all about that. And this is right within this 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We came back.
No, it wasn't.
When was it?
You was at work with Ava. You was taking your rental back. I had your rental because I was in Garden City doing hair, and you had the car, and you was gonna meet me at the airport.
Oh, I forgot why I was heading to the airport. But I was driving to the airport. I had Apple in the backseat.
That's where the rental went. The rental.
Oh yeah, that's right. The rental. Okay, we was taking the rental back.
He getting it. It's coming.
Hey,
It's coming
yeah.
on.
I mean, it's so much to happen, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to make this a 2-hour podcast.
Oh, we ain't got. We can make it a 2-hour podcast. It's all good. I ain't got nothing else to do.
He already told you he don't like being places a long time.
Right.
But yeah, so we had a car at this time.
This ain't every place. This
No, it's not every place.
FCPG Testimonies, y'all. Come on,
Any
clap it
other
up one
place.
time. Come on. Yeah.
Any other place. It's my dog right here.
Yeah, it is.
So I ended up having to go to the airport. I forgot all about that. Thank you for reminding me. And I had an Apple in the back seat. And we were driving, and I don't know, I can't remember if it's like that now. We was just at the airport. But, they had the rental car place over here, and they had that 2 lanes, and then you can cross over and go to the other lanes that's going back. So I was in the far left-hand lane, and I'm driving, and this lady comes. I guess she couldn't see because there was another car. Like, we were kind of adjacent. Like, that other car was a little further than me, and I was back, but I was in the far left lane. I get up there. I guess she tried to go speed up to catch before the other car, but end up T-boning me, and we spin, and we go out. And I'm checking the Apple, making sure he's okay.
Yeah.
Because he's little at this time, like little, he's okay. So then we didn't have any vehicle after that, right? There was no vehicle.
Yeah.
And we just was during this plan.
Literally like 2 weeks before it was time to move.
Yeah.
We lost
Within
our
that 2
vehicle.
weeks, we lost our vehicle.
No vehicle.
No vehicle. And then on top of that, God was like, call this person and tell you
Tell
want to
you
quit.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like at that point, it was like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah.
So God ended up blessing through her grandma, ended up helping us get a van. The van we got right now.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, damn, we got a van? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we that family now? And who knew later on we was that family?
That's right.
5. Every seat filled.
Every seat was filled.
Every seat was
Every
filled.
seat was filled. The front seats, the middle seats, and the
the
back
back
row.
seat.
The back row was filled. I didn't know, but God was preparing us.
Yeah.
And then, after he told us that, we decided to move. After we did that, to fast forward to that part, then we decided to move when we got up there. And at the time, I didn't have no job, but I did have my summer job where I go and I teach and go to the different summer camps and stuff like that. So that
Okay.
was cool. All right, so we did that. That helped us float us through the summertime. But during the fall, we didn't have any income. So that time was really tough because it wasn't a lot of food. It was a lot of things. We was eating chickpeas. I never ate chickpeas a day in my life. My wife, chickpeas. My wife was making meals out of chickpeas. We were drinking all kinds of like water stuff, coconut water, all the stuff that be in the bottom of the cabinet.
Yeah.
We was doing
drinking.
that. Yeah, just to survive. And then in the fall, we just finished registering the kids to their schools. And my daughter Sherry, she ended up going to the school that was up the street from us. The building we're in is a super huge building. It has like 5 different schools in there. But at the time, I didn't know because the main middle school is on the bottom floor. So I didn't have to go upstairs and nothing like that. So we just registered at this school as soon as we got there, not too long. And so I go on Indeed, and I'm like, I don't know. Should I trust Indeed anymore? Let me double check.
Right. Indeed, I know.
Yeah.
Indeed is kind of.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Right. So, but I tried it again. I'm like, look, I need a job. So I'm just looking. And I saw this one job said, hey, we need help, building a music program for recording, producing, and all that stuff. I'm like, yo, that's me.
Yeah.
So I submit the application, and I'm like, well, let me go up in person. Let me see where the school is at, and I talk in person. So I look up the address, and I pull up the address. It's in the same building we just enrolled Sherry on. Trippy, right?
Yeah.
All right, 5 minutes up the road, right? I could have lived anywhere in New York.
Right.
5 minutes up the road.
up the road.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm like, all right. So I go. I talked to the lady that helped me enroll. Her name is Mrs. Williams, to be funny enough. Her name is Mrs. Williams.
Shout out Ms. Williams.
Yeah. And she was like, I was like, hey, have you heard of this school? I'm trying to see what's up with this job. You know, we just moved here, da-da-da-da. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's upstairs. She's like, you know how to get upstairs? I was like, nah. She's like, I'll take you, right? And we walked to the bottom of the stairs, like probably like not even 2-3 minutes, we get to the bottom of the stairs. It's this small white lady that's right there. And she says, you're in luck. This is the principal of the school you're going to right now. She's sitting at a desk right there.
Wow.
I go up to her. I say, hey, how you doing? My name is Tyron. I just filled out this application right here for this position. I was just looking forward to working with you. And she paused. Like, she didn't say anything to me at first. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, it was something I did, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like she realized she was in a trance. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. She was like, you don't understand how this is because the music teacher just quit to move to Alabama. She was like, you don't know. I didn't know if we was going to still have a music program because I couldn't find somebody that had these skill sets to keep the music program going. I was like, well, here I am. You know what I mean?
Hello.
She was like, well, can you come from an interview tomorrow? I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I came back and they hired me to build the studio in the room. And she was like, you know, right now it's just freelance. You know, at any point in time, this job could end, but you know, just want to give you opportunity and just be upfront with you. I'm like, cool. Mm-hmm. So I worked there, and I'm building this too.
She didn't waste no time posting the job.
She did.
He quit. She posted it, and then hello.
Yeah. That's how quick it happened. That's how quick that happened,
wild.
Bro. That's wild. 5 minutes up the street.
Yeah.
Out of all the places in New York I could live, I have to emphasize that because New York is big.
Yes.
Right. Out of all the places in New York, we stay in that place to stay 5 minutes up the street from this school. Crazy.
With the pink bathroom.
It's not pink anymore. It's like white right now. Oh yeah, the tub is still pink, but the rest of the place is white. We was like, can we paint that? Yeah, so I ended up working there, and the kids started gravitating to me, come and ask questions, blah 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 blah. But they end up having to hire another music teacher because at the time I didn't know there was a process to be a teacher. Mm-hmm. So I was doing that, setting it up. Then this is when COVID happened. Mm-hmm. And then the music teacher there quit. Mm-hmm. And so I was running the music class, but it was online because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so
what was it like living in New York during COVID?
It was crazy. It was like a ghost town. We did shoot a music video in Times Square called Vibe Zone. That's on Vibe. So we shot that out. Yeah, please go check that out. We shot a music video down there. It was like probably 5 people down there. So it was really cool. In Times Square.
Jeez.
Times Square. It was so trippy. But I'm like, yo, this is an opportunity.
Ghost town.
Yeah, ghost town.
The Hamptons was open. Yep. We drove to the Hamptons. Nobody was at the gate.
Yeah, we went to the Hamptons. There was nobody at the gate. Go straight through.
That's wild.
Yeah, man. We went exploring.
Yeah.
We went exploring.
Yeah. That in New York, the thing about New York, that empty is wild.
Times Square is always
It's always something going on, yes.
We were part of the 5 people I was talking about.
I always say when I go to Times Square, I say it looks like organized chaos.
It is.
Because everything is moving.
Like fish.
But nobody is getting hurt. And I don't know how this is even possible. I mean, you got buses squeezing through corners. It's 5,000 people crossing the crosswalk. It's cars, it's cabs. And I'm like, bro, how are these people not running over each other?
That's a fact.
But it's organized chaos. It's like everybody just knows how to operate.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. You're going to learn quick if you don't.
Yeah, right. Don't be in the street at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's a fact. They will hit you. Okay? They will do it. Yeah. It's not the South. They will do it.
Yes.
And then get mad at you because they had to do it.
What you do in the streets for? Like, dude, you in the car.
Yeah. Yeah. So after the COVID, they ended up hiring another music teacher. Mm-hmm. They put me a part of it to work with, to select it because they saw how passionate I was about the music. So they was like, hey, we can't give you the job because we needed you to be a teacher, like a certified teacher, but you can be a part of the process. Well, even though I was part of the process and I appreciated it, I was mad. I was angry. I'm like, yo, I put in all this work and you mean to tell me that I can't get it because of not being a teacher?
Right.
When I'm knowledgeable about this stuff? So it made me a little upset and it lit a fire underneath for me. Yeah. And I applied for this grant and God blessed me with this grant where I was able to get money to go to school to get my certification. So I ended up going there, getting the certification, and next thing you know, 2 years after that, right, they ended up splitting me and this new music teacher. They put him in another school, and they said, Mr. Williams, it's your turn.
It's your turn.
It's your turn.
It passed the torch.
Right.
What was that guy's? I know he was qualified, but as far as like his qualifications and your experience, like did you feel like I don't want to talk down on the guy, but like did you feel like you were more qualified for the job than him, or did he or was he able to teach you something, or was it just kind of like, all right, he got the credentials, so he in charge, but I can honestly do a little better?
It's probably that last one. It's probably that last one. No shade at all. Like it's just our styles was different.
Yeah.
And he was more instrumentalist. Like he played more of the instruments and stuff. Like he dabbled into the music production stuff, but not like not
like you did.
Yeah.
And certified banker.
And that would be the biggest thing right there. That would be the biggest thing to there. But I did learn a lot from him. You know, as far as like he was really like his creative mind to put together a lesson plan and stuff like that. Really great. So I did pick that up from him, to the creative part of doing that, and just him being able to do that stuff. But it was two totally different styles. Sometimes it was kind of frustrating sometimes because our boss used to say it's like a marriage, right? Like you got to figure out a way, even when you have disagreements or whenever you may have situations, you got to find a way to get through it. And we got along professionally. To do what we needed to do for the students and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool to work with him. But I definitely wanted my own classroom for sure.
I feel you. So how you feel on the days you're like, it's your turn? Well,
at first I was super excited, and then when you by yourself, there's a lot of challenges that come with that. Right. And this is the thing we used to like support. I would get from him or vice versa. That was always there when it's two people.
Right.
But now that it's just me, like I gotta bounce around to make sure everybody's on point.
Right. It's
my job to make sure everybody's on top. Like it's a lot of responsibility.
Right.
Some days I get burnt. I'm like, yo, I don't know if I want to do this by myself. No, especially high school, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody like to play so much.
Yeah.
But I think my boss actually sat down and sat me down and was just like, look, like you got something that you can't teach that.
Correct.
You're either born with it or you don't have it.
That's it.
And he was like, the fact that people come to your classroom, like they be trying to knock down my door and everything just to come and just be in the room, be in the presence. And, that speaks a lot to what I do. And, sometimes days I forget that. Some days it don't feel like that.
Yeah.
But it's cool when you get that confirmation to know that you're doing the right things and that you're influencing so many people in a space. So that's really cool.
What was that is cool. What was your first initial moment when you realized like, oh snap, I'm making a difference and I'm living in my passion?
Man, it's certain moments. So like it'll be like, for instance, I just helped a student the other day, was like, oh, I can't really do music, and I helped them write a rap. Right, they had the lyrics, but I was like, it's all about delivery, and had them go do that and actually rap in the booth. That was great. I have a student named Chance. He's a real shy kid.
Chance the Rapper.
I call him that every day. He's real shy, right? He's real shy. But which I didn't know, his mom was a hip hop head, and so he actually performed for the first time on stage. Because last year he would do a little bit in the classroom. I was like, nah, this year go on stage. He was like, you sure, Mr. Williams? I was like, go on stage. And he went on stage for the first time and killed it. And his mom told him that she wasn't going to be there, and she ended up being there. And he came to me afterward. He's like, yo, Twiz, and sometimes they call me Twiz.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, Twiz, thank you for pushing me, man. You don't understand the joy of seeing my mom in the crowd.
Yeah.
And actually being there and having that moment.
Yeah.
Right? Those kind of moments is the ones that be like, dang, man.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
So, Twiz. Where does the name Twiz come from?
Man, it's an interesting story. I ain't gonna do it too long. But back when you're playing football, sometimes they call you by your last name.
Right.
My last name was Williams. First name was T. On the back of my jersey was T. Williams. So this is back when Snoop Dogg had the Izzles, Bizzles, and
Off the
Shizzles.
hizzle for shizzle.
Right. If you remember that, right? And so they used to call me T. Wizzle. Right.
Right.
I was like, man, that's kind of long, right? I don't want to be T. Wizzle, right? And they was like, all right, well let's cut the Izzle off and just be like Twiz. Like, I like that. I like that. Twiz it is. Let's
Yeah,
go.
it is. Twiz.
It just roll off.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Certified banger. How you get that name?
So actually, I was playing beats for some of the homies right now. My homie Dutch. Shouts out to Dutch. He came on and he was like, "Yo, this is a certified banger." And he got a very unique voice. If you
Yeah.
ever hear him speak, he got a real unique voice. And the way he said it on the track, I'm like, "Yo, that's fire." I said, "Let me chop that, right?"
Yeah.
And so I just kept certified banger. And then I added like the reverb and the effects on it. Banger, man. And then when my hard drive crashed, I lost the voice for him. So and this is when I was in Orlando. And so I had to redo it. So I was like, I had to do it myself, but I was like, certified banger, man. And then I added that in there. And then so when I came back, he actually redid it for me. Yeah. And so I incorporated his and mine's at the same time. And then it makes this little sound. So that's where I was like, all right, Certified Banger Productions. That's what we doing.
Fire.
Right.
So, since you've been in New York, what's some accomplishments that you have been able to attain as far as your career, your music, all that?
I would say
I know what it is. Hold up. The manager. We
got a question.
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
What's up?
How long have you been married?
Really?
9 years?
Did I miss it?
9 years?
No, I was.
Because I didn't hear anything about Miss.
I know
Oh.
we was gonna get back
9
to
years.
it.
Certified banger.
Mrs. Certified.
We talk about
9
the
years.
guests. We definitely was gonna get missionary
I got you.
in the story.
I got you.
Yeah, right. So it's time. We time to go from the pink bathroom to the red love.
But to answer your question,
Yeah.
I get to that. Well, since that's the answer. To answer your question, the biggest accomplishments I've done since I've been in New York is become a Grammy-nominated music educator.
Come on now. That's what I wanted to say. I ain't want to say it. I wanted him to say it.
That right there, that was
times.
crazy. 2 times, yeah, two times.
Two times
Two times.
Grammy nominated
Yeah, 2
educator.
times.
Yes,
Those.
sir. Music educator.
Right. So that was I remember getting it 2023. I remember applying for it, and they got to go through what you submit to see if you are
If you
good,
qualify.
if you qualify. And I made it past the first round. I'm like, all right, okay, this is cool. The first round, you're not necessarily nominated, and then I got to like the quarterfinals, and it was like this is the round where yes, you can be considered Grammy nominated. And I cried, bro. I was like, because one of my ultimate goals is to be to win a Grammy.
Yes.
So to be in the room and being part of the Grammy Academy and be nominated as well, that's huge.
How did your wife and the kids and students, like, how did they react?
Well, my wife, she was happy. She gave me a big hug.
A big hug.
A big hug. Yeah, big hug. We rarely do big hugs. Because every time you do big, never mind.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I know. What's understood don't need to be explained.
I'm gonna need an SUV at that point.
You don't need a limousine.
A limousine.
Yeah.
So she was happy. The kids was happy. I don't think the kids really knew what was going on. They were just like, oh yeah. But my students though, they were happy. They were like, yo, immediate Gersh, one of my favorite students. He immediately shared my post like, yo, my teacher's Grammy nominated. You know what I mean? He was showing love. So that was cool. For them to see that too, and to see what I do. Like they saw me on the podcast the other day. They're gonna see me on this podcast too. So for them to like teach them and then to actually be following me on my stories and stuff like that, they were like, yo, you really doing it? Like, yeah.
Your
I'm not
kids
just
really
talking about
think
it.
You're cool.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They was like, man, you had to leave and come back, man. How much money you got, bro? It's like, that's God money, bro. That ain't my money. Uh-oh. Yep.
Since we talking about the kids, can I interject a question?
Sure. Say it with your chest.
Can you talk about the positive influence you have on them with their rap music?
Yes. So you already know most teenagers, they rap what they hear on the radio.
Bang,
They rap
bang,
what
shoot
they
'em
see.
up.
We've all been there, right? We've all been there. But I try now to change the narrative. In New York, it was an eye opener because when I first started the program, some of the students, the teacher that was there before me, he used to let them curse. So when I first time out, they was like, we got a song, let me hear the song. And they just dropping bombs. I'm like, whoa, this how y'all get down
In
up
high
here?
school? Like, I mean, we know they cussing, but
Yeah.
the teacher's like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I didn't understand that. But once, like when I first came in, I was like, yo, no cursing, no nothing, like shutting it down, right? There was a lot of pushback, which I get that, right? Because that's not what they used to. I try to get them to focus on their bars, actually say something, right? But when I took a step back, I was like, all right, instead of just coming in headstrong, because in New York, coming headstrong don't work.
Yeah.
It don't work at all.
You got a different breed of kids.
But I'll tell you, before not trying to get off subject, but when I first was in there, right, and I was trying to help a student, right, I was asking him questions. Hey, how you doing? My name is Mr. Williams. I'm just trying to help you with this math work. Da 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 da. Student ain't say nothing. And then I was like, okay, well, all right, was this hard for you? Like, how can I help you? Nothing. I said one more thing. I can't remember what one thing I said. I just remember the feeling I felt after this next part. I said something else. The student just turned to me and said, what the you want?
Whoa.
Like, straight up, just no filter.
Yeah.
What the you want?
Okay.
So at that moment,
I want to help.
Hey,
I want to help them.
at that moment, I was like, I had to take a deep breath. I was like,
That nigga, I'm from the east
hey,
side. of
I wanted to. I was like, I just got this job.
Yeah,
God bless you with this job. I can't mess it up.
I can't
He
embarrass
test me out the
Jesus.
gate, right? You gotta come correct.
Yeah.
So I stopped. I was like, okay, maybe I'm going about this wrong. I asked him. I said, hey, who's your favorite rapper? Oh, da 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 da. Okay, Completely changed.
Change clothes.
Changed everything. He
Like, yeah, like I ain't just
like
asking
it didn't just happen.
Yeah, okay.
So
All right.
I'm like, okay, so this is how I get to
Who
you,
was the rapper?
right?
Who was the rapper?
I don't remember the fact. The
The
fact
fact that
is,
he changed. Like, the fact that he just, this is a whole nother person
yeah,
right now.
like this a whole nother person,
This is
man.
a great kid.
Yeah, and it's like New York is tough, man. It's
Yeah.
tough. It definitely built my thick skin up because down south, it's hospitality. It's a lot of love. You don't talk to people sideways because we'll shoot you. Right?
This is Georgia.
Right. Yeah. Up north, they about that energy, right? So you gotta try to show them different ways, and they be like, oh, everything that doesn't have cursing in it is Disney Channel, right? I said, I beg to differ. I can play you 3 songs right now that's fire that you will say is fire that doesn't have cursing in it. They're like, you lying? Ain't no songs like that out right now. I played 3 songs, right? Don't ask me what songs. I played 3 songs.
Was it
I know one for sure was Bizzle, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
One was definitely more
That's good.
Bizzle, right? So that tell you the realm of what it was.
You thought better than I did because
Yeah.
my mind went to like Will Smith and
Nah, see,
old Lil Bow Wow.
I love, but that's not that. Well, I'm in New York, bro. That ain't gonna get no credit. that ain't gonna get. You see what they did to Ja Rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bow Wow's from Ohio.
Yeah.
Not New York.
Shout out to Bizzle.
Yeah,
though.
shout out
to
Bizzle.
Money.
Bizzle have flows,
Yeah.
right? The Way Up remix.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying?
course.
I know that was one of them.
Did you play the remix with
The
Dayton?
remix.
Oh,
What's fam name with the braids?
Dayton. Oh, with the braids.
Yeah, he killed that song. Hoboken, is that his name? Oh, that's
On the Way Up remix.
Yes.
I'm gonna
He
have to look it up.
snapped.
I was so impressed by Dayton's verse. When I think of the Way Up remix, that's what I'm
No,
thinking
man,
about.
he was like swimming in like noodles. Yo. Yeah, you go listen to that again.
Yeah, I'm
He
gonna listen
killed
to it
that.
again, yeah.
He killed that. But anyway, I played those 3 songs for them. They was like, they had the flex. Yeah, it was all right. It was all right.
Yeah, right.
I like, it's all right, bro. You can actually make songs without killing somebody. I promise. I promise you can. Because the industry is way different than when we were younger.
Correct.
It's way different. Like they try to actually live this, right? But yeah, but that's the positive trying things I do with it. I don't curse in the classroom. Some of them try to troll me and get mad. It don't work. I was like, I got family to take care of.
That's right.
Y'all not about to press me and make me come out of character.
That's right.
And it was like, why don't you get mad? Like I had a student come to me mad that I didn't get mad. What are you talking about?
Why you ain't mad?
Yeah.
I'm mad.
Yeah, it's like why you don't get mad? It's like, nah, bro. It's not worth my energy.
Yeah.
Right? It's not worth my energy to get mad and take it out on y'all. Nah, I'm good.
Were you always that positive? Because I don't think I've ever seen you as much as raise your voice.
Yeah.
Like you are one of the
Yeah.
most chillest guys I've ever met.
I'm the original chill guy.
Yeah,
For real. I don't.
Yeah, you are.
Even my lovely wife was questioning me. She was like, yo, why you ain't yelling?
Why you don't fight with me?
Yeah. Nah.
I need some of that.
Anger is a dangerous emotion, man. It's necessary, but it's very dangerous. And I
gotta
know
say
I'm
that again.
like the Hulk. When I get to that point, I don't want to get to that point.
Yeah,
so
I
I'll
don't.
try every single method, mode. Because then when I get mad, they be like,
Oh, snap.
yeah, when I get mad, everybody's like, man, you ain't had to get that mad. Like, bro, what you think I was trying not to
I'm
do?
holding it in. I was trying to tell y'all you won't like me when I'm angry.
Nah. I don't like doing that. And then I
Yeah.
gotta apologize for stuff. That's too much.
Yeah,
It's too much.
And speaking of how positive y'all are, I don't know if you can really see it on camera.
Oh.
This man got a shirt that his students made him.
Yeah. They drew this on my board.
They drew
I don't know
this
if you
on-
could, I don't know if you can see it. But they drew this on the board, right?
We'll get a picture of it and post it.
Okay.
Please don't change the camera.
Like two of my students drew this on the board. They drew this on the board. They would I tell you they be trolling me. And they had the shirt says "Let's make beats." They had that on here, and shouts out to MPC. MPC was like, "Yo, put it on a shirt." I was like, "Dang." I was going to hit you, and I was like, man, I need this like tomorrow though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
They ain't gonna get from
and so-
Savannah to New York by tomorrow.
I'm not trying to pay that overnight fee. That's crazy.
All right.
But so shouts out to Miss Howard. Miss Howard she had a little shirt presser, and she put on a shirt for me, and I wore it the next day for my students.
Yeah.
And they was laughing. They all laughing like, yo, that's my. So yeah, I wore it on the shirt, and then now you got everybody else trying to draw. So I'm like, nah, y'all not gonna make it on the shirt.
Yeah, you gonna make
You're
it
not
on the
gonna
shirt.
make it on the
Yeah.
shirt, bro.
And just by the picture, it looked like you might needed a retwist when they drew.
Oh man.
Look a little rough.
Hey, Shay said my chain look like a cookie. This is my chain, bro. That does not look like a cookie. It looks like look at a little
Yeah,
cookie right there.
They tried you.
I'm like, why do I look like Peppa Pig? I know I'm a big guy, but come on, man.
It look like Dr. Robotnik.
They don't know about Dr. Robotnik. They just know about Dr. Eggman. Dr. Robotnik was round, bro. I'm like, yo, y'all play too much.
But that's love, though.
Yeah,
That's
it is,
love.
man.
Like,
It's-
the fact that they just feel that comfortable with you and can do that, and y'all, because somebody might get mad.
Yeah, they
like,
would.
Man, you draw this
Nah, put
picture
it on
of
the
me.
shirt.
You're like, yeah, I'm gonna put it on the shirt.
And you know what I taught that day? I was like, this is branding.
That's it.
I aligned it with the
That's it.
lesson.
Brand.
This is branding.
awareness. Speaking of branding,
Yep.
and then we gonna have to jump back to the love story because they look at our wives just looking like, all right.
They come from the same village, I promise.
They do.
They promised
They
they come
do.
from the same village.
They do. Yeah, y'all all right? I forgot what I was about to ask you. Oh yeah.
said
That's
branding.
right. Because you talking about branding.
Yeah.
Talk about like your 5 minutes of Twiz, like the stuff that you really do for artists and creators.
Right. So, the things that I teach is unique because it's not something that I'm just trying to sell anybody like that. Anything that I tell you about, I've done personally myself. I don't speak about anything I don't have any knowledge on or I haven't done myself. So, being entrepreneurs, right? A lot of people think it's sweet. Like ownership is really big, right?
Yeah.
But ownership doesn't mean anything if you're not doing anything to build equity for it.
Come on.
So I tell, artists, I created 5 minutes of Twizdom to kind of put people on game about what to do, how to register your music, how to make sure that you create your logo, how to register your music to get your royalties checks. How do you brand yourself? Like having the importance of having merch. All those little things, I created that, and 5 minutes of Twizdom is just an extension of what I teach in the classroom. And I do this all year round. Even during the summertime, I teach young students how to make music, not just to rap about it, but actually get back to expressing yourself, because that was the main focus of music way back when, is to express yourself. We've gotten away from that, and now we clout chase, right? Because it sound cool or whatever. You don't really have to fake it to make it, bro. You don't have to.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
Yeah.
You ain't got to lie.
You don't have to. And we live in a world now, you can make a song about anything and it can go viral.
That's a fact.
So why rap about the same things that we've been doing for the last 10 years? And I told my students that too. I'm like, listen, why gangster rappers is a thing? Because they came from those neighborhoods.
Correct.
They only rapped about what
What
they saw.
That's right.
They rapped about what they hood was like. They weren't glorifying. They're like, yo, this is a cry for help. They don't look at it like that, but like, yo, this is a cry for help. We got people over here like Biggie, like I ate sardines for dinner. Who's eating sardines for dinner? Who's doing that? That sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
Sardines.
And I mean, if one can, it's good.
I'm saying that's hard times.
Yeah,
and I empathize for people who we was eating chickpeas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But but they not rapping about it now. There's people living in suburbs rapping about trapping. Like, dude, you a civilian. You a civilian. Why you talking like that? I'll call your mom right now.
Yeah.
You a preacher's kid. Why you talking like that?
All right.
You don't act like you wasn't in youth Sunday on Sunday talk about God. You want to come to school and act like you
act like you a thug. Stop it, boy.
Yeah, get out of here.
Then speaking of the struggle and the eating sardines and I'll go back to the chickpeas. That's hilarious. So you knew that, you know what I'm saying, like the move to New York was like God led. So what kind of conversations was you having with God while you eating chickpeas? Like, all right, now you told me to come here, sir.
Bruh.
Can I at least get a Chick-fil-A but not a chickpea?
Man, listen. It was just one day at a time. One day at a time to focus on it. It was heartening, right? Because as a man, how do you look your wife in the eye and be like, yo, this is the right move, or is this the right thing, and things are not looking right, and you telling them just be patient, have faith, you know what I mean? And we're struggling, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got a place to stay. We're just scraping to make it by. How am I supposed to tell my wife that, And she could have been like, nah, that's not what I signed up for, dude. I'm out, right? But thank God I have a faithful wife.
Come on now.
Shouts out to you. I love you, babe. Right? And that's, you just ask God, like, God, please don't let this be a fool of me. Don't let my wife, think this of me, just I pray that I lead them in a way that he would want me to lead them, and I pray that she's able to see that. So that's just anytime we go through something like this week has been really crazy.
Yeah.
And I just tell her to keep faith, and we've been through things. We've been through a lot of things. These last 6 years of staying in New York, we've seen and been through a lot of things to where, like, not only just us people. Mm-hmm. Like, I saw people grilling in the rain. I'm like, yo, look at them grilling in the rain, right? Like, But then one of my sisters from the church is like, yo, some people, that's how they cook. That's how they cook their food. They don't have a house. Yikes. That is their stove.
Yikes.
Right? And now that changes the perspective.
Yes.
Right, on how I'm looking. Because at first I was just like you. I was like, wait, what they cooking out there?
What you doing in the
wrong
rain?
with that? They must be high, so.
It's because he's homeless.
Yes, it's because he's homeless.
All right, my fault, Jesus. Let me repent.
Yo, right? And it just made you appreciate the small things that we have. Because we overlook those a lot.
Yes.
We overlook those things a lot.
Yeah.
And so being in New York definitely made me humble. It's definitely made me a lot more aware of people's situations, more empathetic. Because, a lot of times we just like, we live our lives. We ain't worried about. But you never think about kids coming to school. Like, I had a situation where a kid was coming to school, right? And their mother died. They ain't have nobody else to watch them.
Jeez.
They were still coming into school, right? Like, as if everything was normal. They were just coming to school. They were raising themselves.
Wow.
And they were going into different hotels to live during this whole time.
Wow.
And they were trapping because that's the only way they could make money.
Right.
Right? But they was coming to school.
All right.
And, I've never heard of those kind of scenarios before. I'm just thinking, it's regular, right? Nah, that's crazy. Had a student not have food, right? So it really just puts you in perspective of the world. Like, New York, you would definitely see the world.
Yeah.
Certain places, you're not going to see those things because it's small, right? It's minimum. But in New York, you see it everywhere.
Everything,
You see it everywhere and everything. So yeah, that's a journey.
That hit different.
What's up?
Yes, my dear. Take your time.
Are y'all coming back?
Coming back where, to visit?
Right.
I'm trying to come back from our reunion, if that's what you mean. My reunion's in October. 20 years.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
So-
20 years.
20 years. Lord, God, we getting old, Jesus.
Yeah, man.
So how did you meet meet your wonderful
How'd I meet my
bride
wife?
over there? Yeah.
So I ended up meeting my wife through a mutual friend.
Uh-huh.
At the time, I didn't like her like that. She didn't like me like that either, But she was cool, right?
Uh-huh.
She was cool. She was skinny, got glasses. I had to thicken that up a little bit, but at the time, we met through a mutual friend. We was cool. Where I really started to like her is like we all used to go out. So it would be me, her, and our mutual friend. We would all go out and hang out. And then as we hung out, I was like, yo, I kind of like her. Like she's cool. She mad cool. I think I want to holler at her, right? And I would just, but out of all the people, I was afraid to like express my feelings to her. Like I would just always hold it in. And she was like, I had a feeling you like me. I roll, but.
Yeah, don't push your head.
Right. And so, I would ask her, I think I would ask her to hang out. Like once I moved back from Orlando here, I asked her to hang out, but I think she was just transitioning through just being back fully single and things like that. Kind of stood me up a couple times.
Oh.
I stood me up a couple times.
Mute the mic.
That did not happen.
That happened.
That did not happen.
2 times, like my nomination.
Yeah.
She got amnesia now,
Stop
right?
capping.
She
I
got
did not stand you
She got
up.
amnesia, right? She ain't just she'll be like, yeah, I'm coming, and then end up like, oh well, I can't come, It's okay. Thank God for growth.
My husband ain't no liar, but that one right there, I think you got me feeling with somebody else. That was it had to be somebody else because it was not Shay.
Okay. I understand. She don't want her name to be tainted. I understand.
I got you.
I respect.
I got
respect
you. She
that.
gonna jump in the camera.
I respect that. But let's just say it took her a while to get her to come outside.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
And then where it really clicked for me, where me and my homie Cal, he was out with his lady, and I was like, hey, let's go, like grab a bite to eat. Let's go out. And we end up. This was the Tantra. The hookah lounge that used to be on Brighton Street a long time ago, and I invited her to come out. And she finally came. I was kind of worried. I was like, "Oh, well, I'm just saying." And she came, and we had a good time. And we took a picture. She gave me a kiss on the cheek. Oh, okay.
Oh, snap.
All right, say I ain't really, all right. We went, had a good time, danced, and then when we were leaving, like I had walked. Did I walk you to your? Was that your car? My car. Okay, yeah. I don't remember. We walked to a car. I think it was my car. Or I think it was her car. I don't know. I don't remember. It was a car.
It was a car. It was a vehicle.
It was a car. It probably was her car. I walked to her car. And, that's probably was our first kiss. So, like, it was like, I had a good time. And it was like mutual. And it was like a, peck on the lips. After that, and then she walked. I think she walked because she parked like, it was my car. And then your car was like parked right here. And then, after that moment, I was like, yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. So after that, we hung out a lot more. And then as we got cool, she actually asked me to be her boyfriend before I asked her. Right. But I was being cautious because when I would call her sometimes, the kids would be in the background. Is that my dad? Is that my dad? So that right there for me was a flag, right? Oh, okay. I get you got a co-parent, but for them to ask that, like that kind of would put me on like put my brakes a little bit. But after a while, and I told her I had to wait. I was like, yo, let's wait a little bit. Let's see how this goes a little forward. But once we got through there, I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this thing. I said no.
They know it better than we do. Right?
I just explained why I had reserves,
Yeah.
And then after that, it was history. We were dating for a while. I think we dated like 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. We dated, and then I proposed to her on one of her birthdays.
I just want to clarify
Lord.
that we got to know each other first and dated, and then we entered a relationship. Okay, let's clarify that.
I said we were dating 2 years.
For about 6 months. We dated for about 6 months. Then we entered a relationship.
Oh,
for
she
2
bringing
to
out the
3 years.
technicality.
Yes,
The
exactly. Because
technicality.
people need to know that
We
in
were
the world.
dating.
Right.
They need to
Dating,
know that.
and then we got in a relationship.
She got it. We got to know the technicality.
Right. When you're dating, you're not going steady.
Yeah, even though she kissed you in your mouth the first time y'all went out.
First of all,
like stop.
it was a peck on the lip. And that's because at this point I was sure
Yeah.
that I liked him and wanted to be with
You got to
him.
speak in the mic.
That be quiet. You just want me to repeat it.
No, I'm
we got
serious.
this
You guys looking
recorded.
right.
The kiss on the lip, I didn't want him to not ask or let it be known that he liked me because we've known each other since 2006. We did not start dating until 2013, 14.
Really?
Right. All because he wouldn't say nothing back in 2006. So
I
then our
moved
lives went
2007,
separate
bro.
ways.
Don't act
okay?
like I was here this whole time. I
So
moved.
when we came back together, I wanted to let him know I like you. Here's a peck on the lips. Not even nothing serious, just a look. That's it. No, none of that. Just
I would have been.
touch.
I'd have been looking at her sideways. She'd have put the tongue after that one. I don't think she would have been my wife.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think. No, that's a little too.
Yeah.
Like as you just starting to.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a little
like,
too.
Oh, yeah, you just sticking your tongue in
Yeah,
other man's
yeah.
joking mouth.
I was like,
What
yo,
else you be doing
Paul,
like
hey, yo, hey. I was like, yo,
was
all right.
hilarious.
The kick was it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was enough to be like, let me think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and not too much to make me be more reserved. So
Yeah.
it was the perfect.
So
case.
how did you? Cause I know a lot of guys. They're a little more reserved when it comes to women with kids.
Yes.
So like, what was your mind thought process when she was a single mom?
Well, I mean, I had a son too.
Mm-hmm.
I had my son at the same time. So having dating somebody who didn't have kids wasn't really realistic to me. So I was open to somebody who had kids. The big thing was like because she had two and I had one,
Right.
and I was just like, "Whew, that's three." Right? The math jumped real quick.
Yeah.
And so that was really like the hesitant part.
Yeah.
Like, dang man, I got 3 kids, and I wanted more kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I never been married before, and I was like, yo,
Right.
when I get married, I want to have some kids.
Yeah.
I actually shouts out my homie Busy. I asked my homie Busy. I'm like, man, she got 3 kids though, bro. He was like, look, stop thinking about all that. Do you love her? Yeah. Do you want to be with her? Yeah. Can you see yourself without her? No. Then marry her, bro. He kept it that simple. Just that simple. And then I was like, you know what?
It is. How was your relationship with your son at the time? Because I know you said you moved to Orlando after separation with your baby mother.
Yes.
So like, okay, she got 2 kids, you got one. Like, what was your relationship with your son at the time?
I had he was staying with me at the time.
You had custody of him.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He stayed with me because when I moved from Orlando, I ended up getting him back right before I moved out of Orlando.
Gotcha.
Right, because it was crazy because I just left my homeboy Wave house and I just got my own place.
Wow.
Right, I literally just got my own place. I started going back to church. I just got my own place. Things are looking up. You know what I'm saying? I got a more reliable vehicle.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I got a phone call. And they were just like, yo, I need you to come to court so you come get your kid.
Wow.
Right? And I'm thinking I'm getting the house for me.
Yeah.
Like, yo, no, it was for me.
It's you and the son.
For my son.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
So that's when I was like, you know what? And all that stuff started happening right when I started going back to church. That's why I was telling you at that time. I was like, you know what? I'm never not going to church anymore. I gotta go to church. It's mandatory.
Got to.
It ain't got to be every Sunday per se, but it needs to be consistent enough for me to feel it.
Yeah, it is. What'd you do did you do the media in church too?
Did I mean who?
Did you do media in church?
I started at Savannah Baptist Temple. When I moved back to Savannah, I started doing the audio. And then after I started doing that, ironically, the church I'm in now in Brooklyn, I do the audio. So when I say God utilizes all of my talents to do it,
yes,
He does.
I'll be watching you on social media. I'm like, my guy is really doing his thing.
Yeah, man.
Like you are truly an encouragement.
Appreciate it.
I don't know if I've ever told you to your face.
You did, man.
We talk a lot over the phone. But
I appreciate it.
But I'll be looking at you like, my guy is like really moving. This man be jumping on and off of planes.
Yep.
I remember one time, what was we in DC for?
Oh, I remember that.
We was in DC I think we were just visiting family, and
Yeah.
then I'm like, I think you randomly called me, or I don't remember how it happened. I'm like, I'm about to leave DC. You like, oh, I'm flying in. I'm like, what?
yeah. I saw you. I think you posted a picture one time, and I was like, oh snap! Yeah, DC
Like, he
didn't
there.
holler at you.
Hey, I'm about to be there. I'm like, what?
You like, man, I'm about to deal. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a blessing to go to different places for sure.
Yes.
You got a question? Oh.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, I had introduced him to Charlene because she needed some work done, and I told her.
Right.
But I
Shouts out
didn't
to
know.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know how close y'all had gotten after I introduced y'all.
Yeah,
They just like
I
y'all
understood
need
doing
somebody to-
projects.
Yeah,
She had me do like 2-3 more projects. after
right,
that.
and then she was playing her audio one night for the women's conference. I'm
Yeah.
like, that joint sound great. And she's like, yeah, Twiz did it. I'm like, oh snap! Like I didn't know, and it even Mamie.
Oh yeah,
Like her and Mamie are even very close.
and that was
now
cool
since then. And,
because I ended up needing a female voice.
yeah,
And I had her do that, and I didn't know that relationship
yeah,
would
just
blossom into what it was.
Yeah,
So that's crazy.
Yeah, bro, we are intertwined. For
That's
real,
crazy,
for real.
bro.
Yeah, I would. But you and her never met face to face.
Who, Michelle?
Yeah,
Yeah, I had to go to
Oh yeah,
I actually had to go.
Yeah, the first.
I actually had to go there. Yeah,
That's
so I met
what's
her.
up, man. This man know my family and everything.
Yeah, man. Good people.
Yes,
Good
it
people.
is. Yes, it is.
What happened? Oh yeah, but she got down, bro.
Yeah, she fire.
She got down. She got a lot of energy. That runs in your family right there.
Yeah, yeah. That's the hype side of the family.
They got everything.
Yes, it is, and they are very super close, super close. It's hard for me to come back to Georgia when I go back up to DC.
I believe it.
Like man,
I believe
it's wild. All right. But my guy Twiz, I could talk to you all night long. But as we just saw, one of the cameras said, I don't want to talk no more.
That's it. That's it. Like y'all have fun.
Yeah, it is. So, but I just, man, appreciate you once again, bro,
Already,
for coming,
man.
man. You know you my brother from
course.
another mother. I love you to death, my guy. Keep on pushing, doing
You too,
your
man.
thing.
You're doing great things, man.
Yes, sir. Take care of your lovely wife. She's always smiling every time I see her. I love how y'all love each other and y'all take care of each other. The kids are all they are very a family unit.
That's a
For
fact.
real, for real. Like they really need that van because
They
all of
do.
them are always together.
That's a fact.
Always together.
That's a fact.
That is, but man, I know. I end every episode.
Okay.
Well, not all of them, but
I do need a new one.
Yes,
I still got that one that you gave me a while ago.
I got you.
But I need
and
a
I
new
got
one.
some certified banker shirts that I need to give you before you dip out of here too. That have been sitting in
That's what's up.
in my thing for a
I
minute.
got to do a giveaway now.
Yeah, right. But I asked all my guests at the end of the episode is do you promise to be committed, fully committed, 100% of repent, so help you God?
100.
Yeah, it is.
100.
By the confession of your faith, we would like to present to you this fully committed T-shirt. Hey.
They got to see the 100%.
Yeah, it's on there. They already know what time it is.
They do.
They know what time it is. Once again, I am Grayce and Mercy, your host with the Holy Ghost. This is another episode of FCPG Testimonies. I'm here with my brother from another mother,
Let's
the
go.
certified banger man, Tyron
You know
Twiz Williams, and we are out.
And this here is FCPG Testimonies.
What's up, everybody? I like to talk to y'all about life insurance. I know nothing says fun like planning for the unexpected, but just hear me out. Plus, it's my show, so you can't skip past this ad anyway. So get comfortable. Listen, life is unpredictable. 1 minute you're sipping on your morning coffee, the next you choking because you laughed at some corny joke on a Christian podcast. Or maybe you a DIY expert. You don't need no ladder. You're just gonna stand on this wobbly chair. Next thing you know, you're airborne. Congratulations. You're an acrobat. That's why life insurance exists. Because life is full of surprises and some of them aren't that good. So do your future self a favor. Call me or my wife at Guarded by Grayce Insurance Agency and get yourself covered. Your loved ones and your questionable life choices. Well, thank you. Or, you can just keep living on the edge and we'll have to do a GoFundMe to put you in the dirt. I won't be giving my money to it, though. That's right. Call Guarded by Grayce Insurance Agency. It's GBG for me.